All right, let's dive into one of the most powerful and honestly most dangerous themes in all of literature, that white-hot passion in Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. We're going to unpack how this one single emotion drives pretty much every major decision in the play, right from a first glance to a final tragic breath.
So, this is really the central question Shakespeare wants us to wrestle with. Is this overwhelming feeling a force for good? Something that builds worlds and creates amazing new possibilities? Or is it just an uncontrollable fire that's destined to burn everything to the ground? It's a question that literally hangs over the entire story. And the answer the play seems to give us is, well, it's both. Their passion is the very thing that creates this incredible, legendary love story, but it's also the exact same thing that guarantees their deaths. It's a beautiful and absolutely terrible paradox.
Okay, let's start at the beginning, the spark. Now, it's so important to get this. In this play, passion isn't just about love. Nope. It's this all-consuming force that fuels everything. Not just love, but hate, friendship, and violence, too.
Yeah, just forget any ideas about gentle, sweet romance. From the second this story kicks off, we see that emotions in Verona are always cranked up to the max. Love isn't some warm, flickering candle, it's a full-blown wildfire that catches instantly and just spreads uncontrollably, threatening to swallow up everyone and everything around it.
Now, before we get to that real wildfire, Shakespeare does something super clever. He gives us a kind of baseline, a false fire. And yeah, I'm talking about Romeo's initial infatuation with Rosalind. This isn't true passion, and Shakespeare really wants us to see the difference. I mean, just listen to the words Romeo uses for his supposed love for Rosalind. Cold fire, sick health. What are those? They're oxymorons, they're direct contradictions. His language shows he's confused and honestly maybe even enjoying the drama of it all, you know? The performance of being a heartbroken lover. This isn't a genuine feeling, it's pure melodrama. He even says he's got a soul of lead and that he's sinking under love's heavy burden. I mean, does that sound like an uplifting, life-changing passion to you? Nah. It sounds like a heavy, oppressive weight. This is a love that drags him down, not one that lifts him up. So what Romeo is really doing is just playing a role. He's being a Petrarchian lover. And that's a term your examiner will absolutely love, by the way. He's in love with the idea of being in love, moping from a distance for the totally unattainable Rosalind. It's all a performance. And this fake love is the perfect setup for when the real thing comes along. And that brings us to the real wildfire. The second Romeo lays eyes on Juliet, everything changes. Poof, that false fire is just gone, and a genuine, uncontrollable passion ignites. This is no performance. This is a world-altering connection. It's instantaneous, and it's absolute. And Juliet feels it just as fast. The moment she finds out who Romeo is, she says this amazing line, "My only love sprung from my only hate." That perfect, terrible balance of love and hate just nails the play's central conflict, right? Her passion is immediately at war with her family loyalty, and that sets the stage for tragedy. And what about Romeo? Remember the heavy burden and the soul of lead? All gone. Now Juliet is the sun. Just think about that metaphor for a second. The sun is the source of all light, all warmth, all life. It's this radiant, essential force. This is the language of true, all-consuming passion. You couldn't get a bigger contrast with how we talked about Rosalind. So their passion creates this totally impossible choice. On one side, you've got filial duty, being loyal to your family, obeying your parents, upholding your family's honor. In Elizabethan society, this was everything. And on the other side, their passionate love, which demands loyalty to themselves, to follow their hearts, even if it means to find their very names. They are literally caught between two worlds. And now we get to the inevitable consequence. That same passionate fire that brought them together with such incredible intensity, well, it becomes a destructive inferno. Their inability to slow down, to control that passion, is exactly what leads them to the play's tragic end. Think about Romeo's final words. "Thus with a kiss I die." He seals his own death with the very symbol of his love. It's beautiful, sure, it's romantic, but it's also a terrifyingly impulsive act. His grief is so complete, his passion so overwhelming, that he doesn't even hesitate. In that moment, love and death become the exact same thing. And Juliet is right behind him. She wakes up,
finds Romeo dead, and her passion leaves her with only one possible choice. She calls the dagger happy, as if it's a welcome friend, and says her body is its sheath. Again, Shakespeare powerfully mixes the language of love and intimacy with an act of ultimate violence. Their passion just leaves no room for a world where the other one doesn't exist. So, you have to ask, was it just their passion, or was something else going on? We have to remember the concept of fate. For Elizabethans, it was a huge belief that your life was pretty much predetermined, written in the stars. The play calls them star-crossed lovers right from the beginning. So maybe their passion was just the engine driving them towards a destination that was already set in stone. So, after all that, what does this actually mean for your essay? How do you take all these ideas about fire and passion and turn them into some top-grade analysis? Let's sift through the ashes of this tragedy and find some key takeaways. Here are 5 absolute killer points for any essay on this. 1. Talk about how their passion challenges authority, not just their families, but the entire state. 2. Analyze Shakespeare's extreme language, the contrast between the heavy, cold words for Rosalind and that bright, solar imagery for Juliet. 3. Argue that it's their youthful passion that leads directly to impulsive, rash decisions. 4. Explore that really shocking link between their intense love and these violent acts. And finally, number 5, tackle the big one, the conflict between their own passionate choices and the idea of a predetermined fate. And that really brings us to our final thought, the big question. What was the ultimate cause of the tragedy? Was it a destiny they could never escape, something written in the stars from the moment they were born? Or was it the series of impulsive, passionate, and very human choices they made that actually sealed their own fate? Shakespeare, of course, doesn't give us an easy answer. And honestly, that's exactly why we're still talking about it today.